Warning: due to the graphic content in this program, viewer discretion is advised.
When you hire someone to take care of your loved one, you're supposed to feel relief. You expect compassion, professionalism, maybe even a little warmth. But for 90-year-old Mira Thompson, her carer turned out to be her killer. And the betrayal didn't come out of nowhere. It was caught on hidden camera. Jane Hill was 52, a woman hired to look after Mira in her rural home. Mira wasn't just old, she was vulnerable. Parkinson's disease, memory loss. She needed someone who would protect her and respect her. Instead, she got someone who saw her as a payday. Neighbors and friends started to notice little things. Cash going missing, Mira confused about where her money had gone. Now, older folks can sometimes misplace things, but this didn't feel like that. So, a close friend with power of attorney did what any suspicious person would do. In 2024, they set up a camera. And sure enough, that camera caught Jane Hill dipping her hand into the cookie jar. Or, in this case, Mira's handbag. That footage could have been the end of the story. Report it, cut her off, maybe even press charges. But here's where things turn tragic. Because instead of owning up, Hill decided to take the most permanent route possible to make sure Mira never told anyone. On April 22, 2024, Jane Hiller walked back into Mira's house. She claimed later that she just wanted to return the money and smooth things over. But you don't walk into a 90-year-old woman's house carrying a heavy metal flask if your plan is a heartfelt apology. Hill struck Mira twice in the head, then smothered her with a pillow until she could no longer breathe. Think about that for a second. A woman entrusted with care used the tools around her not to comfort, but to kill. It's chilling. Mira's body was discovered the very next day, April 23rd. And by that evening, police had Jane Hill in custody. The evidence wasn't just damning, it was undeniable. CCTV of the theft, her presence at the house, and eventually, her own confession. Fast forward to October. In Liverpool Crown Court, Jane Hill admitted everything: theft, assault, and murder. The judge handed down a life sentence, with a minimum of 22.5 years before she's even considered for release. That means she'll be in her mid-70s before freedom is even an option. Now, here's where I want to pause and ask the bigger question. How does this happen? How do carers, people with access to the most vulnerable members of our society, slip through the cracks? Myra's case isn't isolated. Across the UK, there have been other cases of carers mistreating, stealing from, or harming elderly clients. And often, it only comes to light because families get suspicious enough to set up hidden cameras. That tells me the system isn't doing enough. Yes, background checks exist, but they're not foolproof. And even if someone passes an initial check, there's very little monitoring once they're inside a client's home. Vulnerable people like Mira are left to trust that the person walking through their door really is there to help. This case also makes me think about sentencing. 22.5 years sounds like a long time, and it is. But when the victim is 90 years old, defenseless, and targeted in her own home, some will argue no sentence feels long enough. Others point out that UK life sentences often don't mean life. Release is possible if behavior is good. But is good behavior behind bars enough to erase the evil done in someone's final moments? And let's not forget the human side of this. Myra wasn't just a headline or a victim profile. She was a woman with friends, with a community that cared about her. She lived 90 years, only to be robbed of her dignity and her life by someone she trusted. Imagine the betrayal her loved ones feel. Not just grief, but outrage. So here's the takeaway. Hidden cameras shouldn't have to be the safety net. Elderly people deserve better safeguards, better oversight, and better respect. And as for Jane Hill, she'll have decades in prison to think about how she traded compassion for cruelty and trust for tragedy. When a carer becomes a killer, it's not just one life stolen. It's a whole community left questioning who they can trust. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more videos on Women Are Evil Too. Thanks for watching.